Alright, welcome back to our Go Jump tutorial, our platformer tutorial, and what you see is an exciting black screen. This is the way we left it last time. I have a menu back here, but in order to even look at it, I have to toggle the visibility of the fader, and that's just not going to do. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take and go to the utils script, which is where we're doing the fade in and out. And I want what's not going on there is I need to make that rect visible when I'm fading in, whether it's visible or not, because it has to be visible to fade in. So that way we can turn it off here and it will still work. The next thing I want to do is do something about these horrid looking buttons. Now, Godot has a theming system, and as a matter of fact, you can set that in the property settings. You can set a default theme. Here, you can say, I want to use a custom theme, and you can select it in that. If there's no theme specified, then it will use that theme that's specified in the project settings. And then if you have a parent node, all of the nodes under that node will use the theme that the parent node specifies. And that's what we're going to do here at this point, because we just have this one particular set of UI elements, and we'll probably use this theme later on. So we'll save it out to a file and such. But for right now, we're just going to go into this top control node, and we're going to create a new theme. Now, the new theme has a default font, which we already have created. So we will go grab that font, and I'll say we'll do Pixel 24 just as a default font. But really, what we want to do is we want to make use of this fabulous theme editor here. So it shows all the different elements, and when we want to override one, we just hit this little plus button. We want to create our own button. Okay, so there we go. Now we have all these different cool things we can do. What I want to do is come over here to the disabled, focused, hover, normal, and pressed states. Now what we need is a couple of textures, and I've already created those textures, and I'm going to drag them in. All they are 32 by 32 pixel textures. One of just a plain old button, just black with a white background, and the other one is white so that we can make a selected button. Just drag those in, and you will find those right here. So there they are. And we know that they've already been imported correctly because we've set it as a default to not do the filtering on those textures. So that's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to create first the normal state, and we're going to go in here. I'm going to say new style box texture. I'm going to click on that. It will open this up here, and I will drag our plain old button on it. Now, then it brings us into texture region. Now, let me make this so we can see it. Right now that looks pretty garbage-like, but the texture region will allow us to make that look much better. So what we want to do first is I want to go ahead and get the actual size, and that's these little, not these guys, that's the border. I'm going to grab, yeah, it's kind of irritating that you can handle those first. I want to grab this, and we'll make the size correct. And then now these dotted lines, that's the borders. So we want to drag those to where we get the correct size for those. And it's about right there. And then you see how much better these start to look when you do that. So there we are. We have a button, and that's the normal button. What I can do, since I'm going to use the rest of the buttons will be a play off of this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these properties. And one thing I want to do for this button, since we're doing like a mostly black and white kind of thing, I want to go and make the standard button sort of a grayish color. That way, when we like go over, hover over one, we can make it pop out by just making it white, or when it's pressed. So let's create the hover. So I'm going to do this same process, and we'll say new style box texture. And then I just want to paste the parameters in the properties, into the same. So we have the same deal, but now remember this is before I change the color. So I'm going to run it real quick. And so now when you hover, we have that. And then we want to do the pressed. Right now the pressed doesn't have one, so it reverts to the default theme, which looks like garbage. So we'll fix that. And with that, we're going to go back into theme, and I'm going to take the pressed, create a new one of these fellas, a texture with style box texture. And I'm going to paste in our previous, but I'm going to change that texture to the white button texture, just like that. Beautiful. And let's see what we get with that. So if I click on the button, then we get white, which is exactly what I want, except for the words go away. So let's do something else. Now, something else you can do is we can go over here and we can say, look, see that font color? We can change the font color for the different states of the button. So I'm going to change it here for the font color pressed, and we're going to turn it black. Let's run it again now, see what this does. See? It pops, doesn't it? It just kind of pops. That's exactly what we want, is we want it to pop. Now, this other deal back here in the background, that is, if you notice that weird, I'll do this again. You notice after we press it, you see that kind of weirdness right there? Well, that is the, let's go back over here. That is the focus. So that button has been focused, but there's no style for it. So that's what's going on there. Now, if I click new style, and I believe if I leave it empty, then, and I press it and let it go, then nope, you still get that little diddly water right around it like that. I don't like that. So let's fix that. Now I guess what we're going to do is we'll probably grab the hover style and we'll just copy that. I'm going to copy those properties and do the same thing here and just paste those in. Just paste those in like that. Now let's see what they get. See what we get here. So see, now we don't have that weird strangeness. You see? But yeah. So it looks like we got a much better looking buttons, if you will. Now, let's see, what have I got time? Oh, it was 7 minutes. That's not too bad. Now, one of the things I was thinking about, if you remember last time, to create this animation, I basically copied that animation from the player. That's what I did. I can't remember what I did. What would be cool to do is when you press start, that it would start, that little fella would start running and then it would fade out. Just, I don't know, or he'd jump or something like that. So, and if you remember last time when I tried to do that, copied it, it's kind of screwed up my player animations and referred to the other animation. So that's kind of problematic. I'm going to bring Visual Studio or Studio Code up. This is the player scene, and I believe these animations should be in here, right here. See that? Walk or something like that. I don't see those anywhere. Where would them? Oh, right here, right here. So that's sub-resource 6. If I come up here and I say, where is that sub-resource? ID 5. Probably this one right here. Right? So now I want to go, I'm going to go into the, let's grab the main menu scene, I believe, because I think that's where we had that other animation. Yeah, it's in the, and that would be, I'm going to search for idle. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We put it in its own file. Let's see, where is that? So kind of what we want to do is we want to take this example here and we want to make it into that walk animation that I just copied. So I'm going to do I'm going to save this file as, I'm going to do a save as, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to call it walk. And then we're going to take all of this. Well, let's see. This is off script, so I'm just going to tell you it's off script. Actually, look at that. This has, yeah, this has more than this has like 3. So I should probably grab all of these here. This may or may not work. Okay, so you're about to see something that may actually fail. So we have to walk. Okay, so if we do this one we don't want. This is on play walk sound effects. So we don't want that. What is that? Why is that there? And I'm okay. let's just go with it, eh? And see what goes on here. I mean this. Okay, we might have something. Let's grab into this sprite fella. No, the animation player. Okay, that looked like that worked. Let's try that. Okay. Current animation. Yeah. Looks like it's in there. I don't know what reset is. Let's see what reset does. There's no work. Oh yeah, that was auto-played. Sorry. Let's play. Let's see what. Oh yeah, and he has to be large. He's huge here. So we got scale going on here too. Let's stop that. So I need to go back in here. Do it this way. Idle. We have a sprite scale right here, which was right here. These values. Let's see. Do we have a sprite scale? We have a bright. Yeah, we'll just do it right here. We'll change them right here because these are the standard values. You see how it says scale? It's basically set the values to this, and we wanted it to be a larger sprite. So all we have to do is grab those vectors and do this. Oh, actually, sorry. That would be interpolating between those. We only need those. So we're just setting it at the very beginning. And that should work. Let's see. Oh, wait. We have to do the whole deal, don't we? We have to set it to be... But wait, let's just do this. Yeah. There you go. So he's walking. I would say... Let's zoom in. Go to point. Let's go 0.2. And we'll just grab each of these and pull them in. Probably in an uneven place. Let's play that and see what that looks like. Yeah. I like it. I do. I like it. So we have the standard when he's just sitting there. And so when we hit start, we want it to play that other sprite animation. So on start, here's what we'll do. We want to say character animation player dot play. We want it to play walk. And then, okay, let's see if I can get tree. We want to create timer for like, let's try 1 second and then on the timeout. So we'll yield until that timer times out and then we'll fade. Let's see if that works. That's amazing. Look at that. And then boom. But I think we need to make this fella. No, he's looping. He's looping. So why did he stop? Know what I mean? Oh, I know why. I know why. Because we pause it whenever we do a fade out. So for this one, let's tell it to continue to process so that the character will keep on moving. And let's, instead of a whole second, let's do like half a second for the timeout. I don't think it's so we get that and then boom. So you can do all sorts of things. So anyway, that just makes our title screen just a little bit more interesting. So until next time, I'll see you all and thanks for watching.